Klaroline's Buffy, Damon and Elena, Eric and Suki. Why do these couples get so much love from fans? Hey everyone, today we are diving into some truly legendary TV couples. For the first time ever, I'm answering a viewer's comment, and that's actually why this video exists. I also decided to add Caroline and Klaus to the mix by myself, and honestly, I think they fit perfectly here. So why do these love stories, even with way less screen time, manage to steal the hearts of millions? And no, I'm not just going to label them all red flag guys, that's too easy. It's kind of like calling the relationship between Tom and Jerry unhealthy. I mean vampires. They are part of a supernatural food chain. So of course, a fantasy world full of demons, magic and werewolves is going to include controversial or morally gray moments. That's how it works. That's the nature of the genre. Is there some reflection of real-life dynamics by the writers? Absolutely. But personally, I see most of it through the lens of mythology and symbolic storytelling. For decades, the vampire archetype has evolved, shifting meanings, roles, and emotional impact. This evolution is clearly visible on screen, from grotesque monsters and comedic bloodsuckers killed off like zombies by heroes, to complex, mysterious figures with their own philosophy.
Love isn't brains, children. It's blood. Blood screaming inside you to work its will.
Vampires have become symbols of inner conflict, moral dilemmas, and existential darkness.
Don't underestimate the allure of darkness. Even the purest hearts are drawn to it.
To really understand today's iconic vampire couples on television, we have to start with one core question. What kind of vampire exists in this universe? Because the archetype defines everything. How these characters love, how they fight, what they truly fear. Modern adaptations no longer treat vampires as pure antagonists, but make no mistake, they're still predators. They still see themselves as a species above humanity, and every show places them within a moral framework, sometimes complete with laws, politics, even codes of honor. All these shows share one key trait: the vampire is always a being of a supernatural power, speed, hypnosis, fast healing.
Well, that felt even better than I thought it would.
The narrative of the once dark character no longer ends in destruction. The vampire becomes a mystical, untamed force. And this is where, for me, the real magic begins. Why is the classic enemies to lovers trope so powerful in the vampire world? Because honestly, it's never been just about romanticizing complicated or controversial relationships. I believe it's about the vampire as a mythical creature, a source of strength that ultimately submits to a woman. This theme goes way back to fairy tales and ancient tragedies, where wild, unruly forces become loyal to a figure who commands respect. We witness a complex journey of power, surrender, and choice. Viewers are drawn to the bad boy, who doesn't become a hero but rather an ally, a weapon in the hands of the main female character. And when I said it, I meant it. Sometimes it's just a quiet undertone.
Do it.
If I do this, you and me, cultures.
No, but you'll do it anyway. For Elena.
Other times, it hits you right in the face, like that well-known graduation scene.
Klaus, now is not the time to decide that you are over me.
Remember us, Caroline.
Who's next? I can do this all day.
By the way, Klaus and Caroline might not have had as much screen time as the other couples, but their dynamic, it was unforgettable. Klaroline left such an amazing mark on TV.
There's a whole world out there waiting for you.
Klaus, a 1,000-year-old vampire, only needed a few encounters to truly see Caroline, to understand her nature, her desires.
So what do you want to talk about?
Your hopes, your dreams, everything you want in life.
One of my favorite moments, while everyone was desperately searching for the cure to become human again, Caroline didn't rush to join them.
We all want the cure.
Do we?
There's only one, so it's not like I'm gonna get it anyway.
But if you could, you wouldn't.
Klaus clearly sensed and understood Caroline's motivation. She didn't need fixing, she was whole, and Klaus, he fell for that. He was in love with her self-possession.
You prefer who you are now to the girl you once were. You like being strong, ageless, fearless.
Another brilliant moment of the same emotional gravity comes from True Blood. There's this scene where someone who's supposed to be the villain stops fighting just because she asked.
Eric, you don't have to kill him.
And it wasn't some random battle. The enemies were trying to kill Eric's maker, his family essentially. In the True Blood universe, the bond between maker and progeny is incredibly strong and deep.
The bond between a vampire and his maker is stronger than you can imagine.
But Eric stopped because Suki told him to. That means a lot. He valued her word more than his own judgment.
Do not kill him!
That's why understanding the world of each show is key to feeling the full weight of these connections, whether it's a sired bond or the idea of a soul in the Buffyverse. Each of these so-called bad guys comes with a unique background, a personal history that shapes who they are from the very beginning. Klaus and Eric, ancient 1000-year-old vampires, arrive in the story already formed. Klaus is more emotionally unstable, haunted by deep family trauma. His family is both his greatest strength and his deepest weakness, the central paradox of the original hybrid.
My family challenges the bounds of my sanity. My family is what makes me truly happy. It's not a crime to love what you cannot explain.
Eric, on the other hand, feels more centered. He doesn't carry the same kind of inner turmoil, and while he can be violent, impulsive, and proud, he rarely questions who he is. Eric is particularly fascinating in platonic dynamics. He shows love in many different forms. And honestly, it's hard to look away when he's on screen. A big part of that is thanks to Alexander Skarsgård's incredible acting.
Vater, Bruder, Son.
Now, if we turn to the younger, more reckless generation, Damon and Spike, we see arcs that are louder, more emotionally intense and unpredictable. Their growth is bold and often messy, and that's exactly what makes it so compelling. To this day, I still believe Spike is one of the most brilliantly written characters in TV history.
Can we rest now? Buffy, can we rest?
Of course, this stands in stark contrast to the good guys, like Stefan, Bill, and Angel. These typical saviors put the protagonist in the role of the damsel in distress, turning the heroine into an object of protection. We don't see much transformation within the noble vampire team, nor real growth from Elena or Buffy. They seem trapped, almost frozen by these so-called knights. And no, I'm not saying, for example, that Stefan didn't respect Elena's decisions. Not at all. He actually supported her choice to save Matt during the car accident, and even stood by some of her risky deals with the original family. But there was always this subtle undertone of how to be better. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Once again, it seems to highlight Stefan's principled nature and his path of doing what's right. The focus seems more on Stefan's virtuous actions than on Elena herself as the main character. This pattern isn't unique to Stefan and Elena. A clear example appears in Buffy's season 3, where she literally takes a backseat, with all viewers waiting for Angel's final decision. So that's definitely not my favorite season.
If you have something to say, then say it.
You want it all, a normal life, instead of this freak show.
This trope of moralizing men trying to fix their love interests recurs across shows.
We need the map to get the cure.
I don't want the cure.
He's the only way to fix all this.
You mean me? The only way to fix me. This is who I am now.
In True Blood, Bill even chooses to die in the final episode and asks Suki to end his life, knowing it would also mean the loss of her fairy powers.
You realize what you're asking me to do?
What you are is extraordinary, but so is being human. It's what you've always wanted, a normal life.
But Suki's supernatural power is a core part of her personality, so just imagine asking someone to let go of a part of their identity for their own good. It's a classic case of projecting a martyr-like vampire mindset onto a strong woman.
When I asked you this morning if you realized what it was you were asking me to give up, I don't think I understood the gravity of it myself. This is who I am. It's part of my truth. I can't do this for you. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you've noticed, but even on posters or in some scenes, the good guy takes center stage, as though destined to carry the weight of the plot. So not only story-wise, but also visually, the narrative pushes us to focus on him as the lead character. But ironically, it didn't help, and the attention on the man's cyclical tragedy doesn't offer enough transformation to keep viewers hooked in the long run. However, characters like Damon, Spike, and Eric stand behind the heroine, like a symbolic shadow. This is honestly my favorite part, because it flips the classic script.
You're not a schoolgirl.
Buffy, Suki, Caroline, and Elena in this light. They're no longer just the good girls stuck in perfect, safe roles.
And that's what this is really about, isn't it? You can't handle the fact that I'm stronger than you.
It's hard sometimes, yeah.
They mess up, they stumble, they make mistakes. Sometimes big, sometimes painful, but they keep moving forward. They grow, they fight their own darkness.
And how do you feel when you're with Stefan? When he looks at me, all he sees is a broken toy.
She's not supposed to be this person.
I want to be clear about one thing. I'm fine with her either way, brother.
And this is the heart of it. All these rebellious vampires, with their sarcasm and flaws, leave behind the usual bravado and reckless acts to truly follow the woman.
Who do you think you are? The big man, didn't you? The teacher, all full of wisdom. Now she's surpassed you, and you can't handle it.
It's not about domination or saving her, it's about being with her, for her.
Everyone who claims to love you, your friends, your brother, even Bill Compton, they all gave up on you. I never did.
He's on his knees, vulnerable, shedding tears, carrying pain, taking risks, bearing sins, and through all this, experiencing rebirth. This is epic. It's the mythical taming of chaos itself. The wild, untamable force willingly bending, not broken but transformed. It stirs an intense emotional resonance in the fans, because it's raw and real. It's about power balanced with surrender, strength with vulnerability. What's really interesting is that the actors playing these iconic characters often don't fully grasp the whole klaroline Delena or Spuffy phenomenon.
But I never understood Caroline and Klaus.
No, I don't.
Fans that were writing in and making like hashtag klaroline a thing.
There are plenty of jokes about the cast's good looks, British accents, and other funny trivial comments.
Sometimes you gotta go with the boy with the accent. At the next to the other.
But here's the thing, a lot of them haven't actually seen the whole show.
Do you ever sort of go back and watch your own stuff?
I try not to.
I don't remember that at all. I'm just trying to get my lines down for after lunch.
So I never really watched the show, right? I watched like the first few episodes.
And honestly, that means they miss a significant part of the bigger picture. Meanwhile, we, the audience, experience the full storyline. We notice the patterns, the shifts, the growth. We reflect on the concept of supporting the woman, standing by her side, even when it's all wrapped in hyperbole and doesn't quite fit traditional ideas of chivalry.
Spike, shut your mouth. Come with me.
It's worth highlighting an obvious narrative, the classic hate-to-love journey that's always on the surface. Why do these relationships look so impressive on screen? It's the play of contrasts and emotional tension.
We're the same, Caroline.
At first they see the worst in each other, but despite those flaws and imperfections, they fall in love.
Chair of the Mystic Falls Beautification Committee.
Is that my mystic application? Where did you get that?
We witness real, unfiltered feelings, which means they truly know each other.
I want your confession.
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do.
I will be honest with you about what I want.
This ultimately makes their connection more powerful. Also, I'm sure one layer of this is how people relate to the bad guy, not just in romantic relationships. Viewers often identify with this not-so-ideal character, someone who makes mistakes, acts selfishly, but still holds on to hope for a happy ending.
You know what I really am?
Selfish.
I am not sorry that I'm in love with you.
Naive? Maybe, but people want to believe that there's always a chance for better choices, a better life, even amidst all the darkness around.
You may not see it, but I do. I believe in you, Spike.
Remember, the viewer is not just a consumer, but also a co-creator of meaning. That's my point, and I stand by it. So thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.